Michelle starts us off in Lincoln, Nebraska. Hi, Michelle. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
Well, my husband is an alcoholic, and in 2011, he became self-employed, working construction, which has just enabled his drinking to significantly increase. We've spent our savings to pay bills because his income is inconsistent and his spending is very consistent. He spends on his wants before our needs. I work full-time, and we keep our money separate right now. And I'm just wondering, I'm trying to do whatever I can to protect myself financially. I'm wondering if you have any advice on what I can do to protect myself and my kids financially. And in the event of if I do decide to move forward with a divorce, if you have any advice on that end as well.
Okay. So he drinks all day long?
Yes.
How much?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. How long has this been going on?
Well, since he became self-employed, I'm fairly confident it's been going on all day long since then. Mm-hmm. Before that, when he was
what makes you think his drinking is keeping him from working and he's not just lazy?
Oh, he's working.
Mm-hmm. He's working drunk.
Yes. I'll see him over the noon hour, and I can smell alcohol in his breath, and he has had friends work for him, and they've told me.
Told you what?
That he drinks.
Okay. On the job?
Yes. And he'll drink all evening long. He'll stay up at night and drink.
Mm-hmm. So when you all talk about this and talk about him needing help for it, what is his response?
Well, in the last couple of years, he's gotten a couple of DWIs. In this last one, he decided he wanted to stay sober. So actually, I should clarify, right now he is sober because of the DWI. He has an ankle monitor on that monitors his blood alcohol content. But I have very little faith that as soon as that comes off, that he'll stay sober.
So when does it come off?
Probably another year.
Oh, okay.
But in the meantime, his behaviors are the same.
I'm sorry.
Spending.
Spending.
His spending is the same.
Uh-huh.
It's just a different shift on what he's spending it on versus alcohol now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, here's the thing. Your marriage is a disaster.
Yep.
Let's just say that out loud. And something's got to change for it to have a chance to succeed. And so the first goal here is for you to go see a good marriage counselor. Are you involved in a church at all? Let me ask you, do you have a church in the area you trust?
Yes, I just started going to a new church. So.
Good. Okay. You need to call that pastor today, tell him what's going on, and tell him you need to sit down with a marriage counselor. Your husband will or may not go. I don't care. I mean, I care, but that's not relevant. You still need to go sit down and talk to him because you need to develop a series of ultimatums that are put in front of him that clearly define for him what going forward with you looks like. And if we don't do these things, we're not going forward. Okay? And that has to be very clear. It can't be subtle, because what happens in a situation like yours is you finally get so fed up that a switch flips and you're over it and there's no getting you back. No matter what he did.
I'm almost there.
Yeah, and you're boiling to the point of exploding. And so you need to, while you still got a little bit of calm left, you need to say, all right, kiddo, here's the deal. This date, these steps, marriage counseling, Financial Peace University, learning to budget and communicate together, steady work, no more alcohol ever, plugging into Alcoholics Anonymous while you're sober. These are steps, you make them up. I'm making them up here. I'm not saying those are the ones, but you and the counselor together make up a series of things that you require of him that create healing in him and in your marriage. And that's the requirement for you to be able to go forward. And you have to lay that out very, very clearly in your mind and in his mind. And then him not doing those things is him choosing to end the marriage. Okay?
Okay.
And that's what you've got to lay out. Now, because here's the thing. Continuing forward in the land of crazy makes everybody crazy. You're as crazy as he is 2 years from now. Follow me?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going, because he's crazy, and we're all crazy sometimes, by the way. But if you live with crazy long enough, you're crazy too.
Oh yes.
Or you wouldn't do it, or you wouldn't stay in the soup. Okay. So
Yep.
there is no such thing as me answering your question that says, what can I do financially to protect myself from an addict of a husband? Answer is you can't financially protect yourself from a husband or a spouse that is an addict. 100% of addicts that do not seek and get help crash every relationship in their life and crash their finances 100% of the time. It's just a matter of how long it takes. And as long as you're married to him, he's going to take you with him down the toilet if he doesn't get better. So there is no middle ground in this game. We either get better or we get gone over some period of reasonable forgiveness and time. Okay? The good news is he's actually volunteered into this ankle bracelet. That's really hopeful news in this situation. It's the only thing hopeful in the entire conversation.
Yes, it is.
And so you can build on that is what I'm hoping. And, okay, honey, I see you're trying to get better. Now let's work on this because I'm about at my end of my patience or my forgiveness or whatever you want to call it, right? And so while we got you sober, let's talk this through. Here's what we've got to do for me to be able to stick through this because I'm not going to go back to the old ways when the bracelet comes off. And I'm kind of afraid that's what's going to happen right now. I have no reason to believe it's not going to be. So you got to give me a reason to believe. And here's the things we're going to do. And talk that through with a counselor, not with a radio host.
Mm-hmm.
All right? And but that's how we suggest you do it. And then if God forbid you go through a divorce, then sadly a divorce turns a marriage into a business transaction, and it's just a negotiation of who gets what at that point. And hopefully any debts that have your name on them get paid out in the divorce, but it doesn't sound like there's a lot of money laying around in this situation to pay a bunch of stuff. So you're going to have a hard time after the divorce is probably what you're facing, but not near as hard as you'll have being married to an addict for the next 10 years. So hopefully you can turn this around though. Thanks for the call. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.